tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah, this is the music I like the most.
This is
to play in the beginning.
This is our classic music to come out to for this show.
It's so weird because it's a little uplifting and this show's a little dark. Gotham is a little dark.
It is, but the show lifts my spirits.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of the show, we are starting. Welcome back to another Gotham podcast. This is for episode 12, titled "What the Little Bird Told Him." And my name is Joyce. I will be the host for tonight. Ryan is out for tonight. He is on a nice little vacation. He'll be back next week, hopefully. And joining me, I have Monse here.
Hi, everybody. Monse Bolanos. So excited.
And Steve Kaufman.
Steve Kaufman is here. I was on a little vacation this time. The last time we did this show.
I think we all kind of were out.
We are
at least once.
The last.
Yeah. No, I wasn't here.
It was Nando.
Nando was here with
right.
Ryan because...
So literally the three people you didn't get last episode, you're
we
getting
are.
this
We're here.
episode.
You're welcome. Don't ask for anything else the rest of the year.
Wow.
I'm just glad I'm feeling better.
No pressure. No pressure, guys.
No pressure.
We have to live to no one needs anything else ever.
Well, let's get started on this episode. It was nice. We had a nice little break, and we came back to... Actually, I thought this episode was pretty good. The storylines were kind of connected. They weren't all over the place, like we may have thought before in the past. But again, this episode is called "What the Little Bird Told Him," and we found out a lot more about the Electrocutioner, which is a very cute name. I like it. They came up with it during the show. Starting in... At the very beginning, we had a really cool opening song by Johnny Cash. I think it was called God Will Cut You Down. And we just see Jack Gruber, a.k.a. Electrocutioner, walking through the city of Gotham, like all ominous-like and pretty crazy looking. I'm glad we got to see more of him. He kind of met my expectations. What'd you guys think?
And he fits in with like an old school Batman villain that you'd find in like the comics from the 40s and 50s. Where it's just,
agreed.
He uses electricity.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I buy it.
Yeah.
In this world, I buy it because there's no present day in the Gotham we're watching.
Right.
So electricity could just as well be magic. But we learn later
it's
still
simple, but
electricity.
it's still convincing.
Yes, going with the simplicity of it. Yeah, he was a little eerie. Not necessarily scary and like, oh, this big old monster. He just looked like a normal crazy person.
Yeah.
It was a little eerie to watch him. Yeah.
He's pretty much, he acts insane, but we find out more about him, including that he isn't really insane. He turned out to have admitted himself into a mental institution before Arkham opened up. And once he found out Arkham opened up, we find out that he had connections that allowed him to transfer himself into Arkham. And we also find out that his name wasn't Jack Gruber in the beginning, it was Jack Bukinski. He also had connections that allowed people to change his name to Jack Gruber, which was really interesting.
Quite the opportunist.
Yes.
Because he got himself institutionalized because Arkham was going to become a place. So he could then get transferred to Arkham.
Yeah.
I'll save it for predictions, but that part to me, and how easily he went down. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There's more happening here.
Exactly.
How easily he went down. That's another thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we find, so Jack Gruber, aka the Electrocutioner, he broke out of Arkham in the last episode on Gordon's watch. And in the beginning, we find him walking to a store. I forgot what the title of that store was called.
Irwin's Electronics.
Irwin's Electronics, okay. And he meets Irwin inside of the store. But first, he electrocutes the guy that was going to open the door for him and let him in. Which is kind of sad for that guy.
Totally.
Oh, well.
A mallet to the head would have incapacitated him just the same.
So he meets up with Irwin, who I'm assuming was one of his connections from the very beginning. And he kind of walks into this like storage lair of all his gadgets and things that he had waiting for him when he got out. And We also have Aaron Danzig, who was one of his little pawns from Arkham Asylum that is one of his best subjects, or so he claims, coming in with him to execute his plan. Yeah. So,
well, he has
pun intended?
Yes. You know what? Yes.
I was like,
go with that.
And Danzig, we don't get a lot of Danzig this week, but like they mentioned it last week, they mentioned it last time, that he has no concept of lying. Like, he doesn't know the concept.
That's true.
Which he went down too, never mind. But like, I hope we still get to see more of him, because that's just an interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting all around, that somebody's just in there, like, words. I'm speaking words to you right now.
Yeah.
Words are just compilations of things that happened.
Exactly.
Wait, telling you words that are false? I don't know what that means.
Can't compute. Cannot compute. Well, we see that Jack Gruber has this plan. Like, he just looks really menacing, and he puts on that electrocution thing around Irwin's head and makes him what he made Aaron Danzig, another one of his little pawns. And then we jump to the GCPD office, and Essen is telling the crew about this. You know, this is a problem. This is what we found out, that, you know, this happened in Irwin's electronics. And she mentions, obviously, Jack Gruber and how he's dangerous and everything. And she wants everyone to be on this case. But as soon as she says the commissioner will be coming in, or what does she say? Commissioner will get here soon. All of a sudden we see Jim walk in at that exact moment, which I thought was kind of foreshadowing. It was like, the commissioner will get here soon, and then here comes Jim Gordon. It's like, he will be the commissioner soon. But we don't know who this commissioner is yet. But Jim Gordon comes in and says, this is my case. This happened while I was at Arkham. I want this case. And the commissioner walks in. What do you guys think of the commissioner first, right off the bat?
Strikes me as the kind of guy who would be the commissioner of this police force.
Yeah.
Where it's just a glad-handing, up-top kind of a person. Like, literally, not Loeb, Lieb?
Loeb.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is Loeb. There were times in certain parts of the series, the past 10 episodes, that I was like, isn't Loeb the commissioner? Like, she seems to be running that whole giant room with all the cops. Doesn't that mean she's the commissioner?
Exactly. He's never there. And that's what Gordon stands up to him about and tells him, like, since when do you care? Why are you on this case? I want this case. And Commissioner asks Gordon to come into his office along with Bullock. And we know that Gordon doesn't have his badge anymore. He's no longer considered a detective since he's been demoted to Arkham. But he wants that badge back. So he's asking Commissioner for that badge. And Commissioner says, you know, I'll give it to you, but first go get the two guys. Go get Aaron Danzig and go get Jack Gruber. And throughout the whole episode, that's Jim's mission.
You have 24 hours.
And
24 hours.
And Bullock just gets dragged along.
Yeah.
He's so funny. I love when he's like, for the record, sir, I don't have any rebellious in my belly or something like that.
Whatsoever. Or when he was telling, my favorite line from Bullock this episode was when he was like, so you think you've been calm this whole time?
Oh, yeah.
So you think you've acted calm this whole time?
Yeah.
So you think you've acted...
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Have you been present during all of this? That was really funny.
That was my favorite. And it reminded me of Ocean's 11. Like that
Like
whole
the
interaction.
banter?
The whole interaction. It reminded me of George Clooney and Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. I was like, oh. And I liked them. Those two actors to look at. Yes.
Oh, they're very nice.
Are they attractive?
You know,
Just
some
a
people
little
might say.
I think I've read places that those men are found.
They're okay.
Yeah.
She couldn't even do it. She was by the end. She was like, no, they're amazing.
They're
We know that Jordan. I'm actually getting warm too.
That's actually me.
Because I'm sitting next to Steve this time. I don't get hot when I sit next to Ryan, so.
Aww.
Thanks, Steve.
Let's hope Brian doesn't hear this one. All right, so we know that Gordon will say anything to get his badge back. So he basically told Commissioner Loeb he knows how Gruber thinks, he knows what his next moves will be. But when he walks away with Bullock, he tells Bullock he lied. He has no idea what's coming up next. So insanity ensues as they find out more about Gruber and the Electrocutioner and what he has planned. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Does gets tips and everything, mostly from Dr. Tompkins.
Yeah.
She comes in later, played by Marina Baccarin, who I love so much. Since the days of Firefly, she's amazing.
She's great, this character. not buying it.
Yeah, what you were telling me that you kind of have this theory about her.
I have a theory about her and Arkham in general.
Okay.
That she's the only person we know back at Arkham, and they're either going to create a brand new person who's running the revolving door that is Arkham, or it's her.
Yeah,
and I
she
think it's her.
She doesn't really hold much value if she's just Gordon's new love interest.
Yeah.
There's going to be something much bigger
Yes.
for her character in order for her to stay interesting or to just stay on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she is running Arkham. They didn't explain what happened.
Yeah.
Like they never went back there since last episode, and I honestly that's my thought. Where I have a way deeper prediction, but that's my thought on her. Just when she walked in and again, and I was like, there's no way.
Like every time she walks in at a moment where you're questioning like who's doing this? Like who's behind all this?
The intentions, yeah.
Exactly. You kind of get that air of her. But she comes into the office, the GCPD office, with this voodoo doll that one of the inmates create, inmates create voodoo dolls to give to another inmate who casts these voodoo spells, right?
Yes, that's
and
it's a good hustle in prison.
Yeah,
It's
pretty good. She does it. She barters it, trades Coke and candy for this service for all the inmates, which is really silly and cute. Kind of reminds me of Orange Is the New Black in a way.
Yes.
Yep.
But in terms of Gotham.
Yeah.
And they find out that when Gruber was in Arkham Asylum, he did create a voodoo doll to give to this other inmate. And the voodoo doll ended up looking like someone we know very well on the show, Mr. M.
Mr. M.
Yeah. And then it pans over to Maroni. So that's when we find out, Gruber's goal, like why he's doing all of this, what his MO is. And he's after Maroni.
It's revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Made it nice and clear, because up until then we were actually very
Yeah,
confused.
I wouldn't have thought. So
But-
it's all coming together now.
Although what we know now is that Maroni's the second betrayer, at least the second betrayer, and we learn a little later on that there were 4 betrayers.
Yeah. So he was one of his false friends,
Yes.
one of his connections, and we find out that Maroni was in a partnership with Gruber when Gruber was robbing a bunch of banks, and it seems like Maroni kind of took whatever he got from those robberies and also outed Gruber.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, because Maroni seems pretty in good with the police.
Yeah, clearly, because he's brought into GCPD office and he's just chilling,
Just hanging out.
which is
And that's not the
making
first
them
time.
laugh, joking around,
Asking for coffee and
just-
getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's a testament to how corrupt this police department is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. So that's why Gruber is after Maroni, because he betrayed him, which is why what Irwin was writing on the walls made sense. So when Gordon and Bullock found Irwin in Irwin's electronics when they were investigating the crime scene, they found Irwin writing "I will not betray my friend" on the walls with the marker, and he was all out of his mind.
Yeah. Tripping.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Straight
He
tripping.
turns around.
tripping.
He turns
real.
around and he's still writing in the air like, "I will not betray my friend." Aw.
Right before this show, we were talking like
Real
like
thug.
90s rappers.
Yeah. And then we just brought it back.
We were just call back to something none of you saw. That's how we roll here.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, so once Gordon finds out about Maroni being, the whole goal for Gruber and everything, we cut to Maroni sitting at the table of the restaurant with Penguin and a bunch of other of his family members, and he's just talking, having a good time, and we know that Penguin has had some sort of ulterior motive, to get Liza in trouble, to get Fish in trouble with Maroni, or with Falcone, sorry, because we know that Fish wants to take down Falcone and kind of take over his family and everything. So we see Penguin and Maroni sitting at the table, and we also know that Jack Gruber is coming up to the restaurant to try to catch Maroni, but it doesn't happen because we see that Penguin gets electrocuted as he tries to open the door to leave, because he gets a call from Falcone. We can
his
get to that
mom.
storyline later. Yeah, he gets a
mom.
call from Falcone, but he tells Maroni it's his mom and he wants to leave. His mom is very, very sick. It was cool to see Penguin back on the screen. He was really good.
Yeah. I was shocked when he was electrocuted. I mean, it was
I see what you did there.
pun intended. It's funny because that scene happened, and I saw right before they cut to the table scene, like you were describing, Irwin's electronics car
Yes.
was like parked right outside of that, but you see it, and I saw it, and then I didn't even think twice.
Yeah.
And then when Penguin opened the door, I was like, duh, stupid. Like,
You're like,
me.
this is
Yeah.
because we know that Gruber will do anything and go anywhere to get Maroni wherever he is.
Right.
But at the
So-
time, at the time of the episode, it was so early in the episode
Yeah.
that I was like, "Oh, the Irwin Electronics, they're just doing their own thing."
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna get into this deep. We're gonna get into this deep, like, seaside plot.
Yeah.
With Maroni and Penguin needs to leave, and this whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then nope, not so much.
Nope, sick mom. Oh, go.
Oh
But
yeah.
Maroni believes him, which is,
Yeah. Well,
you know,
sick
moms
mom.
are very important
Yeah.
in the Don's, in the Don's world.
Yeah, and up until this point, like, Maroni has no reason to not trust
Exactly.
Penguin up until that point. So
Yeah.
of course he's gonna be like, yeah, your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
So-
soft spot.
Exactly. And we know that's a soft spot for Falcone too.
The soft spot for a lot of bad people in Gotham.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Your mom's.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of mommy issues over in Gotham.
Aw. Sad time.
Yes.
But once Penguin gets electrocuted, the door opens and Gruber's men throw some sort of electric bomb or whatnot, and that's when we see Maroni walk out from the back of the restaurant, and that's when Gordon interrogates him and basically says, I know Gruber's after you. Here's why, because you betrayed him. He wants to kill you. And why don't I just put you in protective custody? Which Maroni basically knows. It just means he's going to be bait because, Gordon wants to lure Gruber to Maroni so he can capture him. So they take him to GCPD along with Penguin, who, by the way, already spilled the beans in a
yes.
state of electric stupor.
In a state of electric shock, he gets up and goes, I have urgent business with Falcone. And then he drops down
after
again.
being persistent of the fact that he's going to go take care of his mom. But no, Maroni finds out that he was going to go see Falcone because Falcone finds out that, he hears Liza being threatened over the phone by Fish. It's all a ploy. We'll find out about that later. But that's where Penguin was heading. Yeah. So he spoils it. He spills the beans and gets in trouble with Maroni. And then we just see him being plopped down on a desk in GCPD. That was really cute.
I actually liked that a lot because that was the safest place for Penguin to be
It's so true.
if he said the wrong thing.
That's
Completely.
so true.
Yeah.
or not.
And
I
I-
think actually only Gordon would help him.
But I think that's probably why Maroni just let him go. Or,
Yes.
they were both in the office and he calls out Penguin. He was like, you said you had business with Falcone. And Penguin's like, no, I swear. He's like, I promise you, it's not that. It's my mom, her heart, her mouth. So he finally just said, fine, go. So I think that's probably why, because what was he going to do there?
He had to
Yeah.
send some, like he had someone follow him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I
No
thought.
way.
Yeah. There's no,
No
way
way
he
that-
believes him. Yeah.
No way someone's not following
And
him.
if he believes in Maroni, we got some talking to do.
Exactly.
'Cause-
Well, it looks like it doesn't matter, but we'll get there.
Yeah. So we're, following this Electrocutioner storyline, Maroni and Gordon and Penguin, they're all still in GCPD office. And the Electrocutioner comes by behind the building. He has this whole setup to basically short fuse the entire building, which is kind of strange to me. I mean, you were saying
Yeah.
that was such a silly, plan.
Well, Gordon's plan. I thought that was a silly plan on
I
Gordon's
see.
part because he put so much collateral down. Like,
Yeah, that's so true.
like I don't think any of he was clearly the only one wearing the goulashes
The galoshes.
to help you.
Yeah.
And just you just electrocuted 12 police officers.
Yeah.
To get to one guy that you purposely left in a police station.
And what's his name? Gruber was asking Gordon, are they all worth your protection, or do they all deserve your protection? And he's like, yes, but they're all electrocuted because of this plan.
Just, it's and I understand they're the Gotham PD that's in Maroni's pocket.
Yeah.
But they're still people though, right? You're not gonna win any friends this way, Jim
Still
Gordon.
people.
Yeah.
How are you gonna be commissioner?
Yeah. Well, I also thought that Gruber's plan was a little elaborate and dramatic. He could have just turned off the switch for the building.
But that seems to
Yeah.
be. But Gordon said that's
That's his MO.
That's his MO. That he would want to gloriously destroy a police precinct.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But on Gordon's end, it was a terrible idea. Just
I'm just
gonna put I'm just gonna have everyone at risk.
Well, I'm the safe one.
Well, I'm the safe one and not even tell anybody to wear their goulashes either.
Yeah. And I love how Enigma's the one who gave him the idea to wear the galoshes.
Yeah.
He was cute this episode.
Oh,
He's always cute.
I love him. I love his character now in this origin state.
I was about to say, you guys are gonna hate this guy.
What?
Spoiler.
You're saying he's not nice? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. I refuse to believe that.
Yeah. And then this fight scene breaks out between Jim and Aaron Danzig and Gruber, who kind of just stands by. But he finally sees Maroney underneath Penguin, and that's when Jim comes and like interferes and intercepts with the whole what's it called? Capturing of Maroney. But the fight broke out. It was kind of like anticlimactic.
Kind of.
And I love Gruber's like Darth Vader.
Yes. Oh no, I like everything about Gruber. But then it's just like, you don't like to lose. And like he really gets in deep on who Gordon may
so
be.
True.
Like, you don't like to lose. It's your primitive ego. It's all these things. He's like, you're right. I don't like to lose.
Yeah. And he throws like water or coffee.
It was coffee. I think it looked like coffee and then just malfunctions the whole suit.
That was it.
Yeah. The scene ended, or that particular scene ended.
It was
and then we jump cut to their arresting.
And they're taking photos and celebrating, and Commissioner's giving Jim his badge back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just thought it was too easy.
Oh,
Way
completely.
too easy.
It was just all too easy, and I feel like Gruber, he's got to be smarter than that as a villain, as a character.
He is.
To just follow Maroney wherever he is, even if it's at Gotham City Central.
Okay, this is Nando. I gotta jump in on
Yeah,
this.
please,
Sorry, guys.
tell us.
Yeah, I mean, after last week, after doing the show with Brian, and we were just building up this character as such a, like the first supervillain almost in a way. Just felt like he could have been a supervillain. To see him go like the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, just
was
like that.
Just like that. He was just crazy.
No, he wants to go back to Arkham. That's what he wants to have an electroshock army, which is also the name of my improv team. But he wants to have an electroshock army built from prisoners of Arkham. I made Nando pop there. I like it. Also, maybe a sketch team.
So you think we'll see more of him?
I think he's gonna
once he gets admitted
I think
back?
he's gonna run Arkham they put him there.
That's cool too, because we won't just have him as a villain once and then that's it. Like,
No.
he'll definitely be a continuous problem.
Yes.
For Gordon and GCP.
Although I do like the realism of like, he has this giant electricity thing on his chest, and Gordon just assesses the whole situation. He's about to get like, what if I just pour water on it?
Yeah, I mean, it was the simplest thing, but anticlimactic
so easy.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think maybe that's why they did it so anticlimactic, because it's not the end of it.
And
coincidentally,
coincidentally, the Executioner, which is not the same character in Arkham Origins, the video game, goes the exact same, not the exact same way, but he goes like with one punch. So it's just like really funny.
Really?
Yeah. He goes with one punch. It's like this big build up. If you're playing the game, spoiler, if you haven't played Arkham Origins, or if you want to play Arkham Origins.
I haven't played Origins. I've only played Gotham
it's just
City.
one punch. It's just one punch and he goes down. He's built up like this boss
That's
that goes
so
down like
silly.
that. Yeah.
But I would love that in a video game. If you work really hard to get to the boss, and you think you're gonna spend like 30 minutes on the boss, and you just get close to him and punch him
And
in the
then
face,
you unlock an achievement.
and then he just drops. You're like, I did it.
I did it.
Achievement.
That's
One
it.
punch.
I have time to go on to the next level now.
There you go.
As long as I don't sleep. I had a problem when I played video games. That's why I don't play video games anymore.
Ditto.
Because you just stay up all night trying to finish it.
I just like that becomes what I do.
Yeah, until I pass the game.
Especially the Arkham games are so much
I
fun.
lost an entire summer to The Sims.
Oh no. There goes Nando.
Hoping my entire audience is like,
that's
Nando.
funny.
I can't believe you admitted that.
Right?
Lost it. Don't know what else I did.
Oh man.
Apparently I ate.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I'm glad you're still alive after that summer.
Anyway.
So they do capture Gruber, which is what he wanted. And we see Commissioner taking the photos, handing Gordon his badge back, and they sort of have this conversation where Gordon is like basically threatening him, telling him the next minute he takes my badge away for any reason, I will make him eat it.
Love it.
And that's when we find out Commissioner's name, which is Commissioner Loeb. You were saying that it would make sense that he was...
I said it would be really telling, because up until that moment, we didn't know Commissioner Loeb's name.
Yeah.
He was just the commissioner, this commissioner, and then he even said up top, like, your father was a district attorney, and blah, 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 you should have went in the law. That the age difference was just right, and, like, I was just like, this would be highly impractical if the commissioner turned out to be Jim Gordon's dad.
But I think it would be a cool twist.
It would be really cool,
it'd be cool
to work
find
with
out
them.
What his history was going from DA to commissioner, and then when they first met, or when they first started talking in the beginning of this episode, and Gordon's attitude towards the commissioner was kind of that of a son whose father was never around. It was like, since when do you care about this?
Very true.
It's making a lot more sense
It made
now.
sense, but unfortunately the name
Loeb could be
doesn't-
the first name?
could be, but we call Commissioner Gordon by his last name in the future.
God.
Which
Spoil
is so
the whole-
far away.
Spoil the whole series,
I'm
which
sorry.
has a second season, by the way.
I know, that's right.
Yes.
I can't believe we didn't start off this podcast with that news. Gotham got signed for a second season.
We were doing a lot
That's
of banter.
amazing. I'm so happy for Gotham.
We had a lot of good host banter up top.
Yeah,
We
I know.
no time.
We forgot about it, but I'm really happy for all the cast. I think
Yeah.
they're great, and I like to see how the show progresses. I mean, I feel like I really want to watch the show more and more just to find out how they're going to evolve and kind of show how time passes and what happens when time passes.
Great.
So
I know.
And new villains and new people. And
What about
modifying
Batboy? Just Batboy. I want him to come back.
and Just you want him to. You want a bat boy at the Gotham baseball stadium?
Yes.
A little boy who runs the
Yes.
bats between.
Yeah.
Okay, just bat boy.
Yeah.
They need to have a baseball scene just for that one. Just to have a boy running bats. Look at it's Bat Boy.
Yeah, I would love that.
it's like a little foreshadowing,
Yes.
like a little telling of the future in a silly way.
Yes.
That'd be cute. So we mentioned earlier that Penguin got dismissed by Maroney because he probably didn't convince Maroney that he really was going to see his mom.
Not even a little.
But he, left to go see his mom, quote unquote. But he really goes on to see Falcone because we find out that Falcone was falsely, he got a phone call from a strange person. And we know as an audience that it was Fish Mooney, who's been wanting to take Falcone down this whole time. Mm-hmm. And she obviously hired Liza to kind of seduce Falcone, or to sort of just keep him in a different place in his mind, because we find out that Liza reminds him of his mom. Like, she looks like his mom, which we see
in that first scene at the of Act 1. Like, they lay it on just in case you probably didn't watch the last couple weeks. So it's just like, no, that's what.
Yeah.
That she looks like his mom.
Flashback, yeah.
Exactly.
It was her.
It was her. It was literally just her.
It was
just
her,
Liza.
and then a young Falcone.
A young Falcone.
Yeah.
And that we hear that music in the background that Liza lured him with in the beginning when she first met him. That music was in the background of when the day it looked like his dad passed away. Mm-hmm. They were sort of mourning his father with that song in the background. And he was sitting on the lap of his mom, who looks just like Liza, which is why Fish hired her. Mm-hmm. So Penguin knew this, Liza knew this, Fish knew this, and they were all keeping this from Falcone. But Penguin was on his way to go tell Falcone that whole truth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he obviously got held back because he was electrocuted.
He got a little electrocuted.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happened.
A little bit.
But that whole plot line, that whole story with Fish versus Falcone, she finally makes her move against Falcone to get him to leave Gotham so that she can have the family signed over to her so she could have a spot. She almost succeeds.
Yeah.
Right?
I couldn't believe it.
It was crazy.
Yeah. The turn of events as it was unfolding, I was like, there's no way this is as easy as it seems.
That was literally what I thought was, well, at first he was like, oh, I guess I should leave.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's no way that's happening.
There's no way.
And then I remembered, like, no, Penguin's going to get to him. Well, at first you're just, well, no, this was, because the anonymous voice told Falcone that he should leave, right?
Yes. It was Fish.
So even then he was like, I guess I should just leave.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was kind of stewing in that thought for a while, because he knows that everyone just kind of wants him to go, and he figured maybe this is my time. He's like, I do want to live in the countryside with Liza. I do just want to relax and be in this environment that, that's not here.
But at the same time, that thought was orchestrated by like I think Fish is the only person who actively wants him to go.
Like, she planted all these seeds and basically made him believe that he chose this.
Including a woman who would also be an exit strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
So he put him in a place where he would go that quietly.
That's true.
It's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's no way that's happening. There's no way, like, Penguin will stop that. And at first I'm like, oh, well, Penguin will let him know that it's Fish, and that Fish planted her.
Yeah.
But then he figures it out. He figures it out that it's Fish, but he still wants to go.
So when she called him back, being Fish, being herself, she basically says, oh, I'm getting calls about Liza or something. What's happening? And he straight up confronts her over the phone and tells her, like, I know this is you. And she tells him she just wants him to sign papers to hand over the family and just leave town. And he agrees, which, we just said it was
he agrees because when he was talking to her over the phone, he was truly ready. In his mind, Liza was this mother-like figure that he can run away with forever. That's not going to be, like, not indentured to him at all.
By the way, their relationship got a lot less creepy this episode.
Yes.
A little bit.
Incredibly,
I was like, okay.
Almost healthy.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, clearly we know this, and she also confirmed that Liza confirmed that he never laid a finger on her. He never wanted to touch her in any inappropriate way. He just liked her company. And I have to say, like, even though she is in this business, she does seem kind of like an honest, quiet girl who just got caught up and needed a place to stay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't live with someone for months.
Right.
And not be yourself. She's pretty much just leaving out one awful truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not even a case of Stockholm Syndrome because he was good to her.
He gave her an opportunity to leave at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wanted her to be independent. He wanted to
find a good guy,
get married,
have
open
kids.
A bakery.
Yeah.
I would love to open a bakery.
Let's
one day.
Let's do this.
Let me get a Falcone in my life. Just kidding.
Just kidding. I hate bakeries.
Just kidding. I hate bakeries. I love bakeries. So, even though Falcone already knew that this was Fish's doing, Penguin finally makes his way and basically tells him that Liza was planted by Fish. So he confirmed everything. And, Liza was just put there because Fish knows the most about your mom and your relationship with your mom and, what she meant to you. And at first, Falcone's like, you're lying. This is not true. He smacks him. But it's true. When has Penguin ever really lied to Falcone or been wrong?
Yeah. And that's what Penguin says. When have I been wrong?
Yeah.
I've never been, like...
Exactly.
I've steered you the right direction so many times for me to be wrong here.
Exactly. So that's when we see Falcone, under the pretense of, going over to sign over the family, he goes over to Fish's club. Which, by the way, what does she do when she's not plotting her new life? Like, is it just me or is her life just totally meh when she's not being conniving and mischievous?
I think she's just sitting at that bar.
She just sits there.
She's just sitting at that bar. I assume she drinks when we don't see.
And she's in perfect shape. She's always made up and beautiful.
Well, I guess that's part of it.
Team.
She's probably at the gym for like 3 hours in the morning.
Yeah, she has nothing else to worry about.
Yeah.
And then she takes 3 calls.
Butch
handles everything.
Yeah. Butch. Oh, he had a good episode.
I'm worried about Butch.
Me too.
Worried about Butch next week.
Me too. Well, Butch thinks that Fish basically has Falcone in the bag. Like, you got this, let's celebrate. And she's like, no. She's like, I'm giving him an easy way out, but this is not a time to celebrate.
Yeah.
Like, it's not done yet. This isn't over. Yeah. So she has Falcone meet her at the club in an hour and to sign those papers. And he gets there, and before he signs the papers, he wants to be shown Liza so that he knows she's okay, he knows she's not hurt, maybe.
Just so he can look her in the face and say, how long have you been with Fish?
Exactly. Yeah. He wants to ask her straight up, face to face.
And that's smart. That was very, I like that.
That's the Falcone we know.
Well, because the Falcone we know could look someone dead in the face and ask them a question like that and have all the information they need.
Yeah.
Because he was already probably 60 to 80% sure.
Yeah.
Just because...
I have to say, Liza did a good job.
Yeah.
Basically lying to him. I thought she did. I thought she was convincing if he wasn't already sure.
Right.
That, she was just planted for him.
Yeah.
So, but poor girl ends up dead because...
And literally in my notes when Liza comes up and she's like staring him in the face and it's like, no, I really like spending time with you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, she's so cold.
Yeah.
And then at the end,
true.
he was like, I'm sure you're a wonderful woman, but... And then chokes her to death.
Chokes
I was like,
her to death.
No, Falcone's the cold one. I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
That was such a... I loved it.
Yeah. And seeing Fish's face, like, holy crap, I can't believe he's doing that to her.
Yeah, and I like that she kind of gestured to do something, and then Butch was like, no, because even though she was planted for Falcone, Fish has a relationship with her. Fish was seeing her as, like, you know, family.
Yeah.
So it must have been, like, I saw Fish's face.
Want to stop.
Yeah, like, her face was like, good job acting on her part.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you can see it in her eyes that she was just like,
like, not this girl.
This, not, exactly.
But then again, she has to pick her spots. Because if she tries to stop that, no way she's living.
Oh,
But
for sure.
also at this time, Falcone's men were surrounding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
men
yeah.
and women, excuse me, were surrounding the group, you know, armed with guns out, ready to shoot whoever was going to defy this whole situation.
We later learned they killed everybody else, not in the room.
Yeah, except for Fish and Butch.
Fish and Butch, and then there's just all the other people we don't really...
Just gone. Red shirts.
Yeah,
A bunch of red shirts.
Fish Mooney has a lot of red shirts.
Yeah. But poor Liza got choked to death. So sad. And the last second of her falling and holding onto that scarf that, you know, was kind of this keepsake for her. It was just sad.
And that final image when he drops the flower that she handed him, that was so good.
And my favorite quote from Falcone today was, "I'm only disappointed in my own stupidity."
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think we've had a very complacent, almost not the same Falcone up until this episode.
And he even says, "I finally remember who I am."
Yes.
And I think Liza did her job, and Fish succeeded with Liza. She distracted Falcone. She put him into this mindset that he shouldn't have been in this whole time, because this happened. But now he's back on his game. He's not leaving Gotham.
No.
So only craziness can happen in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to add anything else about Fish and Falcone before we move on? Oh, there was Victor really quick. Victor Zaz.
Yes.
Who tried to convince Falcone not to leave. But
Unsuccessfully. He couldn't do it.
Unsuccessfully. Yeah. But Victor's, whole purpose is to protect them. So if they were going to leave to the countryside, he would be protecting Liza and Falcone. Yeah. But that didn't happen. Now Victor got his wish.
Yeah. And he's still in Gotham.
Yeah, he's still in Gotham. But I guess that's it for the Fish and Falcone storyline, unless there's anything else you guys want to add.
No,
good?
that was
good.
Okay, well, we've got Barbara Keene, who made a short appearance. Kind of, again, really annoying. I'm like, God,
this has to tie into
silly.
something.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's just too much time between her character doing things.
And
it doesn't make sense.
Do her parents live in Gotham? They don't actually.
I don't know.
Is she in Metropolis?
Yeah. Her parents didn't even want her there.
City? Where is she?
Probably.
I'm assuming she's in Gotham.
Well, it was a good introduction to her family life. Her parents seem very cold and distant, very aloof.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like she can easily be like, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm coming to see you." They don't even really know much about Jim, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, she lies to them and says they're very happy, they're fine. Jim is great.
Yeah.
But they don't care.
They don't. I mean, when she said, she's like, "I'm going to stay for a few days," her parents were like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, right.
That's so weird. And real quick, also, we had a short Enigma storyline with, what's her name? Christine Kringle?
Yes.
Chris Kringle?
Christine Kringle. I had crushed red velvet because it was a red velvet cupcake and there was a bullet in it.
It was a strange riddle.
That was a silly riddle.
Which
and
is,
that's really all I have to
sweet,
say about it.
Deadly.
Bullets are deadly, and a beautiful woman is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But a bullet by itself isn't deadly. A bullet needs I'm out. Crushed red
velvet. If
velvet.
the woman is the cupcake and she's dangerous, she could ignite that bullet and do something. I don't know.
But cupcakes don't do that.
I think we're really reaching for this to make sense.
I think he was too.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to predictions really quick for the next few episodes for the rest of the season.
Woo. And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Steve, why don't you go first? I feel like you have a lot of predictions.
And I was going to take all of our predictions.
No, I think Barbara Barbakeen's family, the only reason we're seeing them this week is because in the coming weeks, we're going to realize that their money, and ultimately her, are tied up in the Maroni Arkham system, would be the best way to go about it. Also, I think Dr. Lee's involved. I said that. Mm-hmm. Dr. Lee's involved in this whole Arkham conspiracy, revolving door Arkham, I'd like to call it, or the Electric Army. Or what did I write? The Electroshock Army.
Yeah.
Hashtag Electroshock Army. And I think Dr. Jack has 2 more people he needs, including Maroni. There's 3 more people he needs to get out and help, so he's going to start a whole army to get it, and Maroni's involved.
Yeah.
It all comes back to Arkham. Has this whole season.
Cool.
Those are my predictions.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention real quick. At the very end, Gordon is in the men's locker room at GCPD, and in comes Dr. Tompkins.
Yes. I was like, that's
asking
ballsy.
for the voodoo doll back. Yeah, she just walks
right
in.
right on it, and that's when I was like, this girl is not who we think she is.
Yeah.
Not to mention last week we saw no one staying at Gordon's apartment. Mm-hmm. This week we saw Barbara staying with her parents.
Yeah.
So
there's just that awesome apartment just empty.
Well, maybe they're back. Ivy and
maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're back there.
There's a sitcom happening, right? Ivy and Catwoman just in Gordon's apartment.
How cute.
It's an odd couple.
Tompkins comes in and they have a conversation, and at the end they end up sort of making out, and that's when another officer comes in and tells Gordon that there was what was it?
Attack at Fish Mooney's, or
yes. Shootout at Fish
Mooney's.
That's the word.
And that's where the episode cuts off. So I don't know if you have any predictions about those 2.
I don't have predictions on those 2, but I have a prediction now that the whole with Penguin, now that Maroni knows, I think that's how they're gonna go back to going back at each other, Maroni and Falcone. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be because of Penguin. They're gonna be back into each other's war zone, and he's gonna be in the middle.
But do you think he'll get caught in the crossfire, or do you think he'll prevail? Do you think he'll
Penguin?
Yeah.
Penguin's gonna prevail.
He's gonna prevail, and I assume he will prevail, and so will Falcone.
Yeah.
And Maroni will not.
Yeah.
In some capacity.
And in the meantime, he has so much pull that Maroni will have to work with him.
Yeah.
Which family got the Arkham Asylum?
Both, but Maroni got cut into it more than he had been.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Maroni will work with Gruber down the line. Yeah, you're right. He's involved. Do you have any other predictions?
Yeah.
Well, we saw in the next episode that Mooney's going to get tortured by Falcone's guys, it seems. But obviously, I think she's going to come out of it, and she's probably going to start her own family since she's not getting Falcone's anymore. But probably try to get Penguin back.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Probably lure him with some other enticing offers.
Or she'll partner with Maroni.
Or maybe she'll work for Penguin.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know.
I think she might have to work for Penguin.
Yeah.
If she's trying to side with Falcone, but then she'll take over.
Because at this point, he's higher up than her.
Yeah.
In terms of reputation and reverence.
And thus ends our speculation moment.
Yes.
It's all connected, guys.
It's all connected. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. That is the end of our podcast for episode 12 for Gotham. We'll see you guys next week, but in the meantime, you guys can hit us up on social media. Steve, where can everyone find you?
Everybody can find me at Steve Kaufman. That's Kaufmann. I also do the Modern Family podcast, and Suits will be back January 28th.
Cool. Monse?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. You can also catch me on the Scorpion panel.
Sweet.
With Nando.
Yeah, Nando. Hi, Nando. Where can everyone find you, Nando?
Oh, God. Where can they find me? They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nandovel, Nandovel. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
Damn.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JAJOURI. And you can find me on the Sunday Night Shameless podcast and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it comes back and The Walking Dead when it comes back. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.